Yo guys, what is up? It's Teach here, coming at you again with another video over on Ark Survival Ascended, and I wanted to show you how to build Armored XPLANT. Whether you're playing PvE or PvP, this will help you prevent your XPLANT from getting destroyed because they are so squishy, but they are so useful. There are ways to defend them a little bit better. I'm going to show you how to do that in this video. If you don't mind, smash that like button, leave a comment below for the algorithm, and then consider subbing to the channel for some more Ark content. So I've got a little bit of a play field that I've been playing with for like, I don't know, it's probably like 8 hours, give or take, just to see what blocks XPLANT in this game, what allows it to shoot, and what you can actually utilize in order to prevent your XPLANT from taking damage. Now, I've got some lovely volunteer brontosauruses that have been soaking these things for quite a while, but they're also level 64 million, so that makes sense. So there's a few things that you want to know about XPLANT. When you're playing in PvP, one of the most popular things to do is just take a cannon, fire arrow, or something along those lines and just shoot the XPLANT because it kills really quickly. So you want to basically find a way in order to prevent those items from hitting your XPLANT. Now I'll show you how to do that. And then the other thing you want to worry about is when people are on the ground, they can just essentially run up and then pull all the fertilizer off of the XPLANT, making it useless. Now, in order to counter that, there are two things that we can do. So if you're just looking for a non-armored XPLANT, one of the best things that you can do is literally just take a single pillar, just like you see right here, go to its maximum height, hit the next one up, just like that right there, and then you can actually stack these things on top of two pillars. Now, you will not be able to reach the fertilizer out of this. You will be able to sit and pike it from underneath, so it's still vulnerable, but it's actually going to prevent you from anyone from running up and taking fertilizer from it. So you can literally just take these things and load them around your base. Now, it is vulnerable from being shot by cannonballs as well as anything else in general. So you want to basically avoid this because it's just a quick fix instead of an actual long-term fix. Now, the next thing you want to worry about is cages. So XPLANT can now shoot through cages, just like you see these guys doing right here, right? However, the big negative is because they can shoot through it, someone can also hit and actually pull things through this. So there's a way to counter this. However, this is actually how you make them armored, because this basically prevents anyone from running up and being able to hit them close range and get nice and close to them. So instead of doing some of the tricks of the past, essentially what we're going to do is we're just going to modify how we build our cage. It's going to look something like this. You can kind of see how I can access this one's inventory. We don't want that to happen, so we're going to do a little bit of a different thing to make these XPLANTs armored. Now, in order to do it, it's basically almost identical to some of the stuff of the past with a slight difference. So because XPLANTs can shoot through cages, what we're going to do is we're actually going to build a 2 deep structure. It doesn't matter how wide you make this, by the way, it just needs to be 2 deep. We're going to pretend like we're aiming at a dinosaur from either this way or this way. Now, what you're going to do next is you're going to snap these things to the actual foundations. Just like you can see here, I've got 1, 2, and 3. And we want this one wall protective layer. The reason that we want this is going to allow our XPLANTs to have a higher targeting zone and also prevent people from actually getting up close and shooting them, which is the most important part of this. And then after you get that done, what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and put up your metal railings. Now, that is the quarter walls, which you can literally just hit R and then change it. Now, we're going to go ahead and go with 3 of them. The reason that we go with 3 is because as soon as you get 3, you're able to actually defend pretty well, just like this right here. Go ahead and show you. So essentially, we've got a cage, just like you see right here. This cage can be shot through by your XPLANT, and it also happens to be a perfect 1 wall height. So we're actually able to use this 1 wall in order to actually build ceilings on top of it. We'll go ahead and hit left, just like you can see right here. And ceilings can be placed on top of these things now. Now I'm going to go ahead and pick up these quarter walls so they're not blocking anything. And you can see how we have a cage in front of our XPLANT. Now, I cannot get close enough to hit these things. I cannot get close enough to pull the fertilizer out. And it's essentially just going to serve as a way to make your XPLANTs invulnerable and undamageable. Now, I'll continue to show you how to build, but you probably already gathered what it's kind of going to look like, but it's going to look like this little weird house. You can build turrets on top of it. You can do whatever you need to in order to make these things safe. They are some of the most powerful things in the game just because they have got that huge slow. So the one thing you're going to watch out for is because there are so basically you can't put anything down on 2 sides of your, just like you see me doing it right here, right? You can't put anything down 2 sides of it. There is a workaround to this. You can go ahead and pick this guy up and pick him up, because this was just an example. And what we're going to do is we're literally just going to go ahead and build a wall on the back side. You can use regular walls. There's nothing wrong with using regular walls. I'm just using half walls to show a point right now, but you could easily just put regular walls up. So when you put regular walls up, you're actually able to place your foundations or place your XPlant based on the corners. You just have to disable snapping. See how it suddenly goes from red to non-red. It's just slightly pushed outwards. So you're going to go ahead and do that, and then you'll be able to snap this next one in place. And then you'll also, assuming you get the right angle, I don't know if I'm actually getting it right now, but you can place a third one down. I just don't want to spend the next 20 years trying to show it to you, but you can. And if you'd rather just place the two, what you want to aim to do when you're placing these XPlant down is you want to aim. So see how these like larger things right here, those will block your XPlants from shooting. So you can kind of aim and put them off center just a touch. So instead of just placing them hard against the wall, just place them a little bit off centered, just like you see me doing right here. And this is going to make a box so these things can still shoot outwards. Now I'm going to go ahead and place 2 XPlant down into these things, and let's go ahead and give it a couple of some fertilizer in there, right? So we can actually grow this XPlant. It's not irrigated, but we'll place one of these guys and then some more of these and then a water tank, and we are good to go. These things will technically raise. Now they've got the water in there. You'll see that they start raising immediately. These are XPlant super speed ones. So now I am unable to hit this. Now I'm unable to touch it, and these guys can shoot through these walls. Now, the only thing that you're going to want to watch out for is once you're inside of this thing, just make sure you totally enclose off this close side so people can't get close enough to it to grab the actual fertilizer out of it. But these things will shoot just fine. There's nothing wrong with them. Go ahead and turn them on all. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. All targets, and then we'll go ahead and give it like a practice shot over here. Let's just spawn in a random dodo. Hello, Mr. Dodo. You're going to be right here. Notice how they'll immediately start to shoot these things. Now, the only thing that's going to block them, because this is a small tame, you'll see how it kind of shoots through those gaps, right? The smaller the tame is, the harder it is for these XPlant to hit it. So obviously no one's going to be raiding you with dodos, but they will shoot through these walls, making it a very, very successful defense because people aren't going to be able to go up to you and take care of it. Now, you could essentially build a turret tower out of this by putting turrets on top of this as well, or building more layers with XPlant. So this is how you make them invincible, because I literally can't do anything to that. It's just, there's nothing I can do. So if I really wanted to, technically speaking, I could get up close like I am right now and hit it from this corner. So you can kind of, if you don't want to worry about this side, what you can do to compensate for that is remove these railings and put a wall up here instead, and that's going to make these things completely untouchable, and there is no way to get to them. However, if you want this wall kind of not there, just like this, so it can shoot to the side a little bit, you can leave the railings there. But that is how you make invincible XPlant. They are sitting in there, and then nothing can damage them, especially if you remove these guys, and they will continue to shoot outwards. Now, for PvP purposes, yeah, that's a little bit more dangerous of a build. But if you were to build this underneath your tower, it's going to slow things down, and it's such a frustrating thing when you're playing Ark to have to deal with things that are slowed down like that. Now, technically speaking, you can shoot a rocket through this. It's not going to work well for you because it's going to blow up as it hits you. But that being said, there's lots of ways to counter everything. This just gives you a little bit of extra help in order to make your XPlants unkillable. So hopefully this video helps you out and kind of shows you exactly what you need to do. There are lots of designs that I've tested because people have claimed that there are so many different ways you can do it. You can damage literally everything except for using a one foundation back, because when they're like this, I can get up next to it and pike it, or I can use a dino and get up inside the actual mesh of it and do damage. So you just want to be careful of that when you're actually hitting these things. Now, there's no major difference between using pillars. You can see that this guy will still shoot. As long as you have the railings in place, these things will shoot through the railings. However, like I've mentioned a few times now, you can kind of put different layers like I have here. So you can give a little bit of a gate layer here, and that helps a little bit. But you want to make it so people can't shoot them. So you want to have them covered with other stuff anyways. But that is how you do the armored XPlant. Hopefully this video helps you out. And if you don't mind, smack that like button, leave a comment below for the algorithm, and then consider subbing the channel. All right, Teach. Out.